Oh, wait, so Tony says go. Go. Jay, can we get an update on Logan Paulsen's status and just overall what your tight end picture is going to look like now with all the injuries?
Yeah, Logan is going to have surgery on Monday on his turf toe, and he'll be out for the year. Obviously, Niles is going to have surgery. He's out for the year. And, right now we have Jordan Reed, who's still recovering from a sore hamstring. He should be okay soon. Other than that, we have, we got Ham and Mahina and Dixon. And we'll have to make do with those guys, see what they have. We'll work a couple guys out here shortly, but we got 3 players in-house that are capable right now. We got to get them better.
Jay, Jordan has never been able to stay healthy. How precarious is that a situation with that as your starting option?
Well, it's a little bit of a concern, but, he's a young guy, and we're hoping that with the strength program that he's gone through in the offseason, he's done a good job of getting his body bigger and in better shape. He just had a little unfortunate twinge, but I think he'll be okay. He's going to get to rehab and get that thing right. But, just because a guy has a couple injuries early in his career doesn't mean they're going to happen all the time. We hope it's just an occasional thing and it won't happen much. But, we're going to rely heavily on Jordan, obviously, and then whoever else can step up into that role with him.
The shells came off about halfway through practice. Was that planned or was that a reaction to the heat?
It was a little bit of both. It was planned initially. We wanted to get a couple good sets in. We had some drills with the offensive and defensive line. We want to leave them on, let them pop a little bit. Probably be the last time we go in pads before the Detroit game. So we want to get a little bit of pad work, but also with the heat, the fans out here, we want to cool them down a little bit.
Do you anticipate bringing in more tight ends?
We're going to work some out, yes.
On the same vein, are you weighing Compton at tight end at all, or is that just like a once in a blue moon experiment, or is he in the mix?
Well, we had Ham who had got poked in the eye. We weren't sure about his availability today, so we just worked him a little bit in there today. We did that a little bit last year throughout the year, so that's a possibility that he can do that. He's a versatile guy. I doubt he'll catch any passes down the middle of the seam, but he can get in there and block, and he can run block and do all the things a tight end needs to do. Is that without running routes?
Along with that, with the other guys, with Dixon and Ham, how do you feel about their blocking capabilities? Because obviously that's kind of a crucial part for what you want them to do.
You're right, and they're getting better at it. They're not a finished product, either one of them, and it's something that they're a work in progress. And these weeks leading up to the first regular season game will be very important. We got Detroit, obviously. You have a very tough Baltimore front, so we have some games that we can get a good look.
With Compton, how much do you think you could realistically use him in that, more than last year? And if you do, because obviously when he comes in, people are probably going to know it's probably a run. So does that enter into it all? I mean, does it?
I think there's a lot of things you can do with them. We're not the only team that has tinkered with this. There's been other teams in the league that have tinkered with extra linemen playing tight end, and you still have all your good play actions. And if you want to load up the box, we still have great matchups on the outside one-on-one with Deshaun and Pierre, and obviously Andre and Ryan Grant. So there can be positives to that. Your play action protection is probably a little bit more sound with the bigger guy there. Your running game, obviously. So there's positives, but obviously we'd like to get a tight end to emerge in there with whether it's Jordan Reed or Dixon or Ham or Mahina or somebody. We'd like to get some work in there, but Compton is a good option.
Jay, we haven't heard officially about Silas Red. Is he done for the year? And then
yes, he's
what
out for the year. ACL, MCL, he'll have surgery.
And then what does that mean for guys like Trey Williams, Mac Brown? Do you bring in someone else at this point in camp?
We'll see. We have some other positions we need to address. We'll sit down with Scott after practice and, check our roster and where we can add players and what positions and where. But Chris Thompson's doing a good job. Obviously, Trey's doing a good job. And, it's very unfortunate for Silas. He was having a good camp, and he was making very good progress. But surgery is in place for him, and he'll have to recover.
Hey, Coach, after seeing the film the other night, the right-hand side with Brandon and Morgan, what were a couple of things that really stood out? And if you could, what's the biggest growth that Morgan's had from one camp to his second?
I think I said it last week, just being comfortable on the right side. I said that, at Virginia, he was a left tackle his last 2 years, and he's much more comfortable on the left side with his pass sets and even coming out of his stance. And then we tried to move him to right side early in camp last year. It was different. It was uncomfortable for him. But I think just his comfort level, being on the right side, getting the calls, is becoming second nature to him. You can see him. He's got a lot of confidence now over there, and he's doing much better. As far as the game's concerned, I thought they did a good job. Their first time playing together in a game situation. I'm happy with the progress, and I'm happy with the way they produced. We got a long way to go, obviously, and I'll keep saying that until the season's over. But those guys are working well together.
Jay, just for more housekeeping, what's up with Trent Williams, Perry Riley, and Frank Curse?
Perry Riley just aggravated his wrist. It was a little swollen, but he'll be okay. Curse aggravated his shoulder. He's day-to-day. He'll be okay. And Trent had a little knee issue. He probably could have gone today, but we kept him out.
And then what's the plan now for Gillette? He got his first team drills, team workout here today. Is he a reasonable option for the next game, or is it still probably Baltimore? You guys can think you can work him in?
Probably Baltimore, but we'll look at him tomorrow too. But he's an exciting player. He brings a different type of burst and energy to that defense. You can just see it in one-on-one drills and a little bit that he got out there. It's a different tempo with him coming off the ball. So we got to get him ready. We got to make sure he's healthy, number one, knows the defense, and then when he's ready, he'll be ready. He's a good player.
Backup center, what are your options besides Laribas at this point?
Well, we have Larson, who's done it, and we've got some other guys. Spencer's working in there a little bit. And we got some guys that are training to be a center, and that's what the last 3 games are for, to find out who can really take that backup center role and run with it. Right now, Josh played pretty good. There's some things he needs to clean up. Some of his snaps were a little off, but he did some good things.
You'll want one of your active players on game day to be able to assume that role?
Ideally, yes. Absolutely.
Veteran roster with what's going on with the tight end position has kind of helped soften the blow that you have guys that have kind of been around the block, been around things like this, adversity like this, to kind of help with practice and kind of going forward.
It does, but this is a blow. It was a major blow. And like I said after the game, it's just not him as a player, it's him as a person and the energy that he brings to every practice. You watch him run, and he runs every route full speed, whether he's getting it or not. He blocks his tail off. He's in the weight room. He's the first one out. He's in the meetings. He's never been late. He's just a great teammate to have, and losing a guy like that, hurts you. But we have veteran leadership, like you said, and guys have to step up around them. But it's a very tough position nowadays in the NFL to find guys that can block in the core and line up outside and be a mismatch in the secondary, and that's what Niles is emerging to be, a true all-around tight end. He's going to get himself right. He'll have the surgery, and we'll get him back next year, obviously. But it is a blow. But we do have other guys that are going to have to step up.
Coach, over here in the back, with the injuries over the last couple of days, do you limit the amount of contact between now and also before the Detroit game on Thursday?
We will a little bit, but we still have to get our work in. We have so many young players that we're expecting to emerge and help us this year. They have to get to work, and we can't let a few fluke injuries, alter or hinder their progress. So we need to get to work. Offensive and defensive linemen, anytime you get a chance to put pads on them, you get so much more work and better work as a result with the pad level. When you don't have pads on, everybody plays high, and it's not quite the same thing. So we're going to try to figure out ways to get our pads on, but we just got to stay healthy somehow.
As a result of those week 1 injuries, should we look for any kind of snap limitations for any players in the upcoming games at positions that are getting a little thin?
No, we got to play. This is football, and in order to be a successful team, you got to practice and you got to play and not be worried about injuries. So I'm not going to let a couple horrific injuries, alter our plans to get our team ready for the regular season. So we got to do what we think is right to get our team ready within reason, obviously. We've had a few injuries, but for the most part, we got a bunch of guys out here that are healthy, and they need the work.
Coach, back here, Fan Appreciation Day, having all these guys out here and celebrating their contributions, to camp and that energy. What has that been like for you and for this team coming back here and seeing that all happen?
Yeah, it's been great. Like I said, man, this whole, the whole training camp has been a very smooth process, from the hotel to the meals to the practice fields to everything has been great, and the fan support has been outstanding. And to go out here at the end of practice and give away jerseys and balls and sign autographs to reward the people and thank them for coming is a great deal. So we're very appreciative of Richmond, the fans. Secours, we're very happy with the situation that we're in.
Jay, just looking back at the film, what did you see from the quarterbacks from the other day?
I think, you see progress. I see some negative articles here and there on our quarterbacks, but, Robert was 3 for 6 with a 60-yard touchdown that was dropped, and had a big third down conversion. He missed a fade route to Pierre. He threw it out of bounds. It was a little bit adrenaline rushed. And then, of course, he missed the third down and 5 throw to Spencer, whose route was a little bit short. But overall, I think managing the game, the position, getting the plays out. We didn't have one penalty on offense, which is exciting. We ran the ball effectively. And I think we moved the ball. I think, looking at the stats among the other teams that's played already, I think we're 5th in offense and 1st in defense. So I think everybody played well. We do have improving to do, obviously. So we did learn a lot from that game, quarterbacks, running backs, everybody.
Can you update us on Deshaun Jackson and Crowder? What is there a timetable for this week when you think they might return?
Yeah, I don't know. Deshaun's questionable. I think we're going to shoot for probably the third preseason game. He's very close. I talked to him out there today. He's feeling a lot better. He's still able to run, which is good. And he's almost got his full range of motion back, but we want to make sure he's 100%. And then who's the other one?
Jameson,
same thing. Probably week 3.
With Robert, was there something that you saw? I know it's not a whole huge body of work, but was there something you saw that you've been seeing all summer that you say this is a big step? It may be subtle to other people, but to you it's a big step.
I think I just think his comfort in the pocket looked a little bit better. The shallow cross that he hit to Ryan Grant on 3rd down was nice. The deep ball he threw to Pierre, he's expecting Pierre to sit down, and Pierre took it up the field, and then he reset his feet and then launched it about 60 yards in the air, gave Pierre a chance to make a play. And Pierre will make that play 99 times out of 100. So, he threw 6 balls. So we still have a long way to go to grade him, but we're happy with his progress. You watch him out here. He had a quarterback draw today for a touchdown. He had some conversions on 3rd down today, and progress is being made with him. We just got to continue to work with him and be positive and go from there.
Is it safe to say that right guard is Brandon Scherff's spot now? Do you feel like?
Pretty safe. He's really taking that role on. You can see him play with a lot more confidence, a lot more juice in there. He's a lot more comfortable in there, and that's fine. And it's not so much that he couldn't play right tackle. It's because Morgan Moses has done outstanding at right tackle. So we have a great option at right tackle in Morgan, and obviously a great option at right guard in not only Sheriff but Spencer Long, who's also a good right guard. So we have some good depth on the offensive line I'm happy about, and I feel good about the positions that they're in.
Why not leave Griffin in a little longer in the first game? And are you thinking of having him play a little more?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see with the ones and how we're doing. I think Niles Paul injury kind of just knocked the wind out of everybody, and we just want to get the ones out of there and then see what the young guys we're going to do. We have some youth on this football team and some free agents that we want to get in there and see what they can do. And the same will be the case next week. But like I told Robert before the game, whether you go 10 for 10 or 0 for 10, all we're looking for is to learn from the experience, continue with our process of building you as a starting quarterback, and go from there. So next week could be the same. First quarter could be a little bit in the second quarter. We'll see how we are health-wise come Thursday.
Coach, back here, just wanted to get your thoughts on Matt Jones and how well he's been doing this training camp.
He's been doing good. Like I said, he's got to work on his stamina a little bit. He's running down on special teams, and he got a little bit gassed out there. But you can see the physicality that he runs with. He had a couple great runs there, physical runs, and good cuts in the open field. So we like where he is right now. He's still got a little bit of ways to go, recognizing blitz pickups, which is very important. Chris Thompson did an outstanding job picking up blitzes in the game. Matt's got a long way to go to get to that point, but we're happy with where he is.